This is the first one, 5:30, yep. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Revenue neutral rate hearing agenda, 5:30 PM this afternoon. The first item on the agenda is 25-024, approval of the agenda. I talked about
It's Monday.
it. It is Monday.
Anything change on this one?
Nope.
Mr. President, I make the motion that we approve the agenda for the revenue neutral rate hearing as presented.
I will second the motion, yeah.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? All opposed? Moving on, 25-025, discussion of the resolution, 25-002. USD 105 Rawls County exceeding the neutral rate. I will review, you'll review it. There we go.
All right. So really for this part of for this hearing, we really just need to go over on the revenue side of the budget. And there's really 4 funds that we really need to go over. So really it's our taxes are set by our valuations. So up on the screen are our valuations like what we talked about last month. We did decrease a little bit from those, from our valuations from last year projected. So the general fund is quite a bit lower, but that has to do with the tax bill that the governor signed in June. So that's why that one's so much lower. So in reality, that one doesn't affect us as far as needing to raise our mill rate or anything like that. You send 20 mills to the state and they send the rest of it to you, or they send the funds back to you directly, and then they make up the difference between the rest of them. And then there's all the funds except general and capital outlay. They're usually always projected to be the same. So those are capital outlay, our bond fund now, and then LOB is based off of that. So just as quick history, general fund per pupil for this year is $53.78. Last year is $51.88. Our adjusted FTE, and with the new law, we took what we were last year and what we were the year before, and we were about 374 the year before, 360 last year, and you average them out, and that's how we get 367. As we've talked about before, you add in all of the multipliers, things like that, and so our general fund authority is 736. When you multiply that by 5188, that's how we get our general fund authority, which is $3,958,208. If you remember from last meeting, our authority, or our FTE of 736 is, I want to say 15 to 20 students less than what it was the year, or what we were projecting the year before. And that just has to do with the drop in students. So, so it's all based off of that. So, I apologize. So the LOB, its number is actually a little bit higher, and that's why you take this same number, and I apologize, I don't have what the per pupil is, but it equals this 4,001,674, and our LOB percentage is 33%, which we did a year ago, and that means our LOB budget is $1,320,552.
On that LOB, that includes insurance money?
No. This is This is just our budget, or what our local taxes are generating. Our insurance money is going through our capital outlay.
Well, the 8 mills won't generate near.
No, and the 8 mils is for capital outlay. We're just talking LO.
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Different track.
And so, on that, to Terry's point, the capital outlay, 8 mils, that's on code 16 in your book, which is quite a ways back. But that'll generate it's a little over $400,000 is what it should generate.
$439,000. No, 442,000. Sorry about that. No, I'm still a year off. 4,442,000.
Well, that's what I was
No, yeah,
questioning.
Just a site.
am I right or wrong? We got 10 million.
No, that's wrong.
It's on,
That's insurance money.
oh, okay, up there's the insurance money. That was for last year.
See, that's what I was questioning on that.
Okay, 418,750. That's for 8 mils.
What page is that?
It's on Form 239.
But when you look at the actual expenses, 23, 24, it was 4,442,000.
Yes, then that's all. The difference is the insurance money. On the capital outlay, you mean?
And that on the budget.
I mean, that's like the modular setup and all those, getting all that set up and the demo.
Once you open the door, then the 10 million,
That's to give us the authority to, through the year, if we need to use the insurance money for the new building.
right, but that 10 million does include the insurance. money.
Yeah. And we'll actually, we'll get, once we've allocated, I think it's about 7 million, we'll get like the depreciation money for the building as well, which is about $1.5 million.
So it's adding in the secretary insurance plus the 8.5 million.
No, we received 7 million is what we received for the building so far. And it's like a depreciation, like if you have your hail takes out your roof, then you get, once you've done the work, then you get the remainder of it. And that's what, so we've received 7 million, then we'll get the other 8.5 million to get to the 8.5 million.
When it's done.
Well, all the insurance adjuster said is once you've had like contracts out for that amount of money, then you can tell them that or show them that. Yeah, and then we'll get the other $1.5 million. So the other part of that, and I'm sorry, I don't have a slide. If you go in your book, it's at the very back to code 62. Actually, let's go to code 99. It's easier to see on there than code 62.
Should show the page.
It says 199. Page
It's
190.
like 2 pages from the back.
Yeah.
3 pages from the back.
If you go there with the decreased evaluation, the only reason we're qualifying for or needing to do the revenue neutral is because of the bond. The capital outlay would be a little bit less. And the LOB would be a little bit less as far as needing to exceed the, which means we wouldn't be bringing in quite as much money with what our tax rates are bringing. But the bond, that's obviously something new. If you remember in July when we voted to exceed the revenue neutral rate, or to give notice to exceed the revenue neutral rate, it was at 32 mils, and that was because we didn't know if the sales tax would pass. And since that's passed, you can see on that code 99, it's where it says debt service, bond and interest 1, it's at 24 mils now, if you see that. So it's lower than what was sent out to the taxpayers. And
All right, go back and give me an understanding. The actual expenses for 23-24 under capital outlay was $4,442,000. Now we're saying that for 24-25, it's gonna be $10,263,000. That's $14 million.
that's the authority that we're giving ourselves. That's not saying we're gonna spend all that money.
Well, if you anticipating it's gonna be there,
We probably estimate a little high on things, but I mean the modulars were a couple million. Then we've had some like personal property that's been. Emily, do you know how much like some of those other extra expenses and property we've paid for so far through there? Is it fair to say it's $1 million or so?
then it does include the $8.5 million
Yeah.
plus the secondary insurance.
The
Secondary insurance is covering the modulars, right?
yes,
And
yeah,
a number of
yeah,
them.
yeah. The modulars, the setup for all of them, the takedown. Well, no, not the takedown. Excuse me. The even like the person, or not the personal items, but like the classroom items that we've replaced. Is some of the rent or some of the expenses from the gym, like extra use, some of that type of stuff is in there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not just like the building piece of it. They told us to run all of those things through capital outlay.
Good.
Are there any questions from the board? Let's go through this real quick. The mill rate for LOB with this budget is 21.638 mils, and that's a decrease of 0.423 mils. And the reason for that is we have a little bit higher balance in the fund this year, and then our state aid. This is what's really helped us, is increasing from 58,854 to a projected 118,718. So that's a difference of over $1 million right there. So that helps us as well.
Hold it up for a minute. Okay. Everybody happy?
See a smile on my face?
Yeah. Me too.
We'll go on to 25-026, public comments. Anybody with any questions, understandings?
I do, I'm sorry.
Okay,
I was under the impression that, this wouldn't affect us until 2025. I thought at one of the last school board meetings that it was said that it wouldn't affect taxes until 2025.
I don't remember that coming out. Sorry.
Are you talking as far as the bond? She's talking about the bond.
Right, no, I know. I don't, I mean, this is technically fiscal year 2025 for this year.
For the budget.
Yeah.
Okay. I just had people come into the office, wondering why their R&Rs went up so much for the school and, the 2025 budget plays a part in the 2024 taxes. So that's just, so although this bond isn't going into effect until 2025, it's still going to affect the 2024 taxes.
What you're indicating is the mill levy's going on for the 24-year taxes. But the bonds revenue that they generate will not be effective to 2025. And that's the question some people had. I don't think they was anticipating that 24 taxes was gonna get hit with the 24 mills.
everybody's under the assumption that their taxes are paid in advance and taxes are actually paid the following year, right?
At
I
the,
mean, we're paying 24 taxes next year,
correct.
so that's a lot of the misunderstanding there. I would say, I don't know,
No, I'm sorry.
but also I don't, when,
You actually can pay 24 taxes in 24. You pay
Yes.
them to December the 10th.
Yes.
yeah,
If you pay in full, if not, pay
Right.
in half.
put there for 24 and you're paying it in December or January
Right.
for last year. That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah. you go
That's
into
confuses a
January,
lot
yeah,
of people.
Yeah, it does.
I always thought the bond would go into effect when the commissioners signed it or whatever. That's when I kinda thought it'd go into. I don't know if they signed it or not signed it or what they do. That's more up in you guys' buildings. When do they sign it? Have you heard? Boss hadn't said, have you heard?
I don't remember. I just know that, the, understanding I was getting was that it wouldn't affect the taxes until 2025, but it is affecting the taxes for the 2024 tax season, so that's all.
When does the sales tax start to be collected?
It has to be,
What'd you say, Matt? I didn't.
When does the sales tax
they have to give,
start to be collected?
I think that the county has to give notice to the businesses and give them like 90 days to prepare, and then it starts in the next quarter. I believe is the way that works.
I thought the sales tax would get on January 1.
I would guess that would make the most sense because if they give 90 days anytime after the August 6th election, that would be passed like the quarter from July 1 to then to September. So it would make sense to me that it would be
Well,
January.
if they sell the bonds in November, then it would, I would assume would start January 1.
We'll check on that.
So does that sales tax is not applied to the, just asking question, to the 2024 taxes then? Where the bond mill levy increase is? Can that be clarified for me?
Well, it'll be, it's not like for the rest of the year, it'll be 32 mils, if that's what
For the rest of this year?
yeah, it'll be 24 mils.
Okay.
Anything else? Do we have any action for this?
Yeah, we have to take action. That's by a roll call vote. There's a resolution 25002 that gives us the authority to exceed the revenue neutral rate.
Do we need to read that resolution?
Yeah. We have to have a first and second, and then it's a roll call vote where Emily has to read off the names, I believe.
Do I need to make this a motion, or?
Do we need to announce that at all, or did we
Huh?
already do that?
We've already done the time for public comment.
Do I need to read this, or is
I make a motion to
Motion,
approve
yeah.
resolution.
okay, I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 25-002. In respect to the revenue neutral tax rate. Whereas 2022 House Bill 2239 amending KSA 79-2988 provides that a levy of property taxes to finance the 24-25 budget of USD 105 exceeds the revenue neutral tax rate to finance the 24-25 budget of USD 105 be authorized by a resolution. Now, therefore, be it resolved by USD 105 that 24-25 budget with a levy of property taxes exceeding the revenue neutral rate calculated for the 24-25 and adjusted pursuant to 2022 HB 2239, amending the KSA 79-2988 is hereby adopted. Adopted this day, 16th day, September 2024 by the USD 105 Rollins County in Rollins County, Kansas. Yeah. We have a second. We have a motion for a resolution and second. It will be by, what do you call that? Calling your name.
Roll call.
Roll call. Dave Marinick.
Oh, I think Emily has to do it actually.
Emily, you got it?
David Marinick.
I'll do her.
Hey, Jordan Donker.
Yes.
Harry Ballard.
Yes.
Matt Finley.
Yes.
Tim McPhee.
Yes.
Okay, Amber Tim and me, Eric Ruff.
Oh, we gotta vote?
That's
That
a vote.
was it. So motion carried.
Okay.
Thank you.
Really wanted to put my 2 cents in. Okay. 25-028.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
The motion to adjourn,
Second that one too.
and seconded, all those in favor? All opposed?
Good meeting, see y'all
There
next
we
time.
go. Milk and cookies.
15 minutes late.
We will go into, we're 15 minutes behind. Budget hearing agenda meeting, September 16, 2024. First thing on the approval is 25-029, approval of the agenda. Is there any changes? We good to go?
We're good.
Do I hear a motion?
Mr. President, I move that we approve the agenda as presented.
And we have a second.
I'll second
And all those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 25-030, discussion state assessment scores.
All right, so we have to discuss the state assessment scores from, not even last school year, it's the year before. We have the individual scores, but they don't usually put all of this together till October, so that's why we have to do that.
Could you blow that up a little more?
Yeah. Is that any better? Not really.
Hell, I can't hear and I'm blind too.
Okay, so what this shows is our math scores, and you can come over here and look, and it compares our scores from,
I can point.
okay, that would work.
I can point.
Were they sent out to us?
Okay, so
Were they
this
sent
is
to
the
us?
state
No.
of 2023, so the state scores, and then this is our district of 2023. These are 2022, 2022. So these are the two numbers that we're kind of looking at right now. So the state, we're gonna look at the reds mostly, because that's where we're gonna dwell on. So anyone that scored a 1 in on the state assessment, the average in the state was 33.13% of the state scored a 1. Ours is district-wide, 30.85% scored a 1. So then this is the twos, 35.55%, 40.42%, the threes. So we would like to get all of our kids on 3s and 4s, so the green or the blue. The state says that a 2 is okay.
That basically means you can enter the workforce.
Right. We want to put more emphasis on the 3s and 4s, but anything above a 1 is acceptable for the state. So what we're going to really work on this next year with our KISA and our accreditation process is getting our 1s. I mean, obviously we're going to work on getting our 3s and 4s higher too, or more students than that. But where we're at is we're going to look at the 1s. So that's math, district-wide. I mean, you can add whatever. But then this is reading. So the state is 32.89% in the 1s, and our district is 26.73%. So
One thing to think about too is you do want to improve from year to year as well. And so in their science.
So 40.31% for the state, and we're at 30.88% of the district. So you can break it down and look at high school and junior high, and then elementary to just see the difference there. But this is where we are as a district. So
What is this right here?
this is science.
This is science.
Science?
Yeah.
And it's, what grades?
K-12.
Well, third through 12th grade. But technically it's
Was it?
3rd through 8th grade, and then I think 8th grade also does this, they do reading and math, but then freshmen do not, and then the sophomores do it, and then I think they're done it. I'm not sure. I just looked
And then
at
like
it.
science, I don't know if we even
Science
do.
is only 5th grade and,
Didn't-
yeah.
Do they do a middle school one?
I'm not sure.
It used to be like 5th, 8th, and 10th is what it used to be, but
So interpret
so
last year and this year, or about 2 years ago and last year. Interpret that whole lines against each other for me, would
This
you
one?
please? Yeah,
So this is just
you
science.
want to compare them year to year, so.
Yeah, so this is science. So this was, I don't know, it's always backwards to me, but this was last year, 2023, and this is 22. So this would be our current kind of information, because technically we actually have 2024 information in, but it's not in graph form yet. So if we're looking at 2023, we had 30.88%, and the year before was 29.89. So it's a 1% difference. So.
Okay, that's,
And then the twos, 29.41%, and then 26.8%. And then threes, 22.05%, or 31.95%. I'd like
Okay,
to see if this is
we're
blue.
gaining on the top tier. We're
Yes.
staying the same on the bottom tier,
So it's
and we're losing ground on number 3.
well,
Am I reading it right?
some of those threes probably
yeah,
went to
some of the
fours.
threes probably went
It
to
probably works both ways. We probably lost some and then we gained some.
Mhm.
It's probably the way to look at that,
Okay,
really. But yeah, I see how.
we got 3% more
Yeah,
in the yellow and 2.
And,
We had
I mean,
6%
it's good
more
to
in the
see
blue.
where the state is. Generally, we find ourselves doing better than the state, which is good. I mean, that's where they're gonna, basically gauge our.
I don't think we have it written down anywhere, but we also try to look at like our neighboring schools and see where we're at.
That was
And ours are very
And
similar.
on this website, you can go to any school in the state of Kansas and look at their
What is the website? I can't make that out.
KSDE report card is what, if you just type in KSDE, Kansas State Department of Education report card, it should pop up. And then at the top of,
They have the data central right here
okay,
that you can go to.
and then you should be able to, if you click on that,
Thank you,
That
I
is
apologize for interrupting.
no, that's okay. And then
Building.
the building report card,
Okay.
and then you type in, find your school. So I type in 105, but you could put in whatever school district you wanted to, and then it'll search it up.
And then you go down to, they don't make this very easy, I will say that.
Down to
Performance level report.
How many years were you in?
Yeah, and then on the side over there is where you change the different subjects.
You can go, you can look at different, like all grade levels. Different subjects. You can break it down by demographics. And
Wow.
so,
And then just the percentages are down here,
yeah.
Is this a comparison of all the schools or just schools similar in size?
but,
They-
no, this is all schools.
Yeah, the state is all schools. They don't have a break. I haven't figured out a way to break it down to where we could just list like our league schools or area schools or things like that. Outside of just going in and punching in the numbers.
What's your
Fine.
overall rating in comparison? Like, do they do an overall,
No.
they just break it down like this?
No,
Yeah.
there's one other sheet, is it the accountability report, that kind of gives us a percent rating on what we're doing performance-wise, absentee-wise, dropout-wise, and so it's kind of on a nice page. But I'm not sure.
There's a couple of like separate type groups that will do like what you're asking. But like they count like the two or the ones and twos as negative, and really if you talk to the state, the twos aren't negative. I mean, it's minimum where you want them to be, but that's where you want them in there and things.
They don't rank all the school districts in the state.
The Kansas the Department of Education does not.
That would be like prejudice or something on somebody to come up with.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some independent companies that do, but they also have their,
They also have their own agenda too.
It'd be interesting
Depends
to
on who's
know
funding the company.
what percentile we fall in.
We can certainly put together a spreadsheet that shows area schools.
Right.
I think it would take a lot of time to do the whole state,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. Just,
I know we look at it when we do our KISA accreditation process. The team does look at different schools around just to see kind of where we're at and if we're on target or obviously having problems or not, you know. So we try to get it figured out.
any other questions with this?
Terry, Tim, anybody? Matt?
It is a fun website to look at. I mean, to really kind of look into, and you can spend some good hours on it.
25-031 needs assessment.
Even smaller writing.
Oh my.
We need a printout of those.
And magnifying glass.
Yeah.
Oh, you must have Thames frozen.
So there's different pages. This is the elementary page that talks about basically our head count and percentage of students with an active IEP, and it includes the speech and is it 18? I need glasses. With just speech, it's 14.75% is students with active IEP.
What is that?
14.7.
IEPs, like students in special education.
Yep. So then, 11% are, English language learners, so not, their English is not their native language. So 11% of our elementary school, as students identified as at-risk that actually get reduced or free lunches is 43.32%.
Is that going up or down?
Maintaining,
Maintaining?
I think maybe down a little bit. Was it 43.7% last year? We do try to get as many people
A
to,
little smaller.
because it gives us really good funding if you qualify for free and reduced, but,
Yeah, the at-risk
for a
is,
family of 4, or a family of, it's like 65,000.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
we have
I,
some good employers that, you know,
That's
we don't
just
have a
what I
lot
was
of
kind of
families
wondering.
we'll try to push it at enrollment as much as we can.
we're actually, well, there might be one I've worked at that has a lower number, but we're probably the lowest or second lowest district of free lunches of any school I've worked at.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for our kids, I guess. It's not for our funding. Our average, students in the classroom, 15.2 students, 4.2 students. We average 16, students median in a classroom. Foster care, we don't, you know, if we do have foster care, then yes, we have supports for that. We don't have really any giant red flags that stick out against like race or ethnicity student subgroups with our testing. We do have our reading program where we talk about, this is reading and math. We have our Stampede times that we do 20 to 30 minutes, 3 days a week on just targeted reading or math skills that we do, that we break them into different ability groupings, and so we work with that. How do we measure the reading growth throughout the year? Because like state assessments, we can't do those for our younger kids. We have to use something different. So we use FastBridge all the way throughout, and implemented that through seniors now too, instead of just elementary, so. We do that 3 times a year, see where they're at, see what we need to do, see what we need to change, so that's FastBridge. Yes, we have a Title I program. And then we talked about kind of like I talked about the stampede time and our tier systems and differentiated groupings, so all of that. How do we measure our social emotional growth, and that's through Second Step, and then student surveys. Second Step is a social emotional program that we use for the school.
Can you enlighten me a little bit on that social thing?
Yeah.
What does that program actually?
It's kind of a fun program. It's there's different
Probably how they
character development that they would do throughout the week. So one of them would be more like, depends on what grade level you're at. Like if you did lower, it's sharing, or what would you do if your friend, needed help.
resolving conflict.
Yeah, it's all kind of like social stories and what would you do, or they show you a picture and you
Heaven
see like
forbid,
a
I'd say this is parenting online.
parenting. It's character education.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so we have a lot of that where we're just developing characters, positive characters. Our PE teacher does a very good job. He chooses a different word every 2 weeks and really uses it in his,
Heard that.
so then the kids get that every single day. Some character development, so.
Thank you.
Prop cards, so you'll see that I put out that we do prop cards, and so if they've done something that shows good character, respect, or different things, then the teachers will give them a punch on their punch card, and then that gets put into a big basket. They get a prize if they filled up one prop card from their teacher, and then to get a bigger prize, they get put into the basket, and then we do 15 kids a week to get a prize there. And, we're working on it.
So does any of that education time take away from academic education time? So that might reflect why our scores are
How
lower?
we get that in there is we have that set CMP time, 5 days a week. And so one day is Second Step, then 3 days are math and reading, and the last day is because Second Step also has a bullying prevention tool, so we do bullying, so it's scheduled in there.
Damn thing will lie to you.
Yeah.
Most of this down here is kind of more high school related, like IPSs, post-secondary completion. Are they civically engaged? And yes, we use our Kansas history standards for that. Are there extra learning opportunities provided? So yes, we say summer school and our different things that we do with like the Owls Nature Trail or our PALS,
Dissipate
or
before we get
I guess it's not PALS anymore, but anytime that we have any interaction with different groups that help us out. Yes, we need technology in the support. This one, these are mostly Kansas State standards that we do with written and oral communication. Can a student orally communicate properly? We do that every day, so. It's kind of basically their standards that we go by, so. Then we needs of the school, the needs of the student under, our teachers certified in PE teaching, yes. How many paras do we have, or support staff? We have 10, how many are needed? 10. Counselors, do we have enough counselors, librarians, nurses? And we put no. I mean, could always use more counselors if we don't have a current nurse situation. I know last year we we needed some assistance with, and we still do with, bilingual translation, and we're always looking for people like that, so definitely having one extra pair that's bilingual has definitely helped us. Is there enough space for student learning? Yes. Can we make adjustments in existing space? Yes. But I put in there basically, you know, we did our facilities needs assessment, over the last couple of years, and then, yes, we did pause our bond, so we'll have the extra space, looking at the different plans up there. We've been talking with the architects, and I think we have some really good things kind of lined up for this extra type of space that we're looking for, so I feel comfortable with that. Bus drivers, do we need extra bus drivers? Yes. I think it says in there, basically we have to have Suburbans because we don't have certified bus drivers. Basically, how is our communication with families? Do we have any groups that are led by parents, so that our booster club, our PTO, the parent advisory council, things like that? Yes, we have parent involvement, and they have a voice if they wish to. Okay, so this is, building attendance rate. 93.5% of our students attend regularly, which is good. Chronic absentee with our building is 21%. We do have students, anyone that is gone more than 10 days a year, whether that's sickness, vacations, they don't wanna get up on the Thursday morning, that anyone that's over, it doesn't matter what the excuse is, if they come in over 10 days, it's considered chronic absentee. So.
That's kind of high, isn't it?
Actually, for the state rate, we're below the state rate, believe it or not.
Yeah, we would like that to be lower.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's almost a fourth of our kids are missing 10 days or more of school.
Yep, and we get that a lot with elementary, because their parents are like, just elementary. But high school, I think our district absentee is 23.3%, so they're higher. Graduation rate,
93.8.
district, yeah, 93.8. And this was based off of last year's, I believe. We don't have a graduation rate or a dropout rate, thank goodness. We don't have enough ACT. So all this is more upper grades. I don't think there's anything towards the bottom, is there?
Interesting.
I'm sorry, we have a person that talked to us at the beginning that's kind of on a deadline themselves, so we'll do the high school one really fast. And Lacey, maybe it might be good if you stayed up there to help point things out.
Look at numbers?
Yeah.
I can't read them back there.
Head count for the high school is 152.
I should say on ours it was 217, and that's because we can claim Head Start and Gazelle Saints if they have an IEP. So. Okay.
So active IEP 11.18%, language learners 9.21%, at risk free lunch is 28.95%. So that's quite a bit lower than elementary. Just some of the things the high school's made progress, like with the FastBridge testing. They're using Edgenuity, MyPath to help with kind of targeting the reading and math growth. That's one thing we wanted to do last year, and then just it didn't get done with the situation in the church and things like that. So they're on that now, so that's good. Let's see here. So I have the FastBridge, Zello, My Purpose Prep. Zello is like it's a program so students can kind of go through what their skills are and what their interests are for their career later on. Help them with that. And that starts in 6th grade.
Yes.
I believe.
Also, they have like like an ACT prep that they're working on too for the students that, once they get in, like it's during their seminar time, so they can work on, getting ready for the ACT test, which is new for us, so that's good.
So extended learning opportunities, they have 510 Main, Ag in the Classroom, OJT, internships, instructional materials. There's some things we should probably that we have replaced and updated since the fire. Technology, we're pretty good on that. And then graduation requirements. Let's see here, government standards, all of those that we talked about before. Let's see here, personnel. We're obviously there's some staff members that we're missing that we're working on. Support staff, we have 10. There's always a need for more paras, translators, groundskeeping, janitorial, things like that. Let's see here. I think training necessary for teacher support, student success, and meet the needs of the school, professional development on the CUSA process. Let's see here.
Same thing, community relations, other parents involved, and they wish to be.
Here's some of the
Building attendance rate is 93%. Chronic absenteeism is 23.1. District is 17. Graduation rate 93.3. And then dropout rate was 0.6.
They start at 6:30?
Oh, and this was just grades 10 to grade.
This is a budget hearing.
some barriers that we face. Yeah, with those. Then we did this data assessment review and kind of what we're working on to do that, and that's for both buildings on it. And then
So it basically takes all that information that we just told you and puts it into like a paragraph form.
Yeah.
That information on the website,
This will be put on there.
is this though where you got 93% graduation
Yeah.
rate, 93% attendance, and a 9.1 student to teacher ratio? And 9.1 blew my mind.
That'd be at the high school. I don't know. Not here. Ours is 15.2.
Well, I mean, it says 9.1.
Chandler, did you put those on there?
Yeah, that might have been district, but we can update that, that's easy to fix.
Because that averages all classes, like if, I don't know, a woods class only has 5 students 1 hour, it's gonna be part of the average, I'm assuming.
You need bigger phone.
Yeah, I know it's on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be on that KSDE, and it's on the accountability report, I'm pretty sure. Actually, you can click on that one website, and there's like chronic absenteeism, there's graduation rate, like those circles, those pictures, that's where all the information is, so.
So it's not 9.1, it's,
Mine's not, I don't know high school what theirs is.
well, I just assumed they averaged, K through 12. So the number of teachers and the enrollment.
Yeah, I don't know where that number came from.
I don't know. I don't know, it's harder for me to average high school,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know. I don't know how they do that. So,
You'll have to ask him.
Yeah.
He's with
He ain't here.
it. All right.
Jane.
25-032.
I'll just go pretty quick here. We've talked about general fund and things. Most of these numbers have stayed the same. There's a couple of funds. If you remember last meeting, we talked about there's some of the balances. Like at the end of the year, I felt were too high, and we were kind of boxing ourselves in if needed, like to not have all of our funds. And so there's a few adjustments that way, but other than that, it's pretty much the same as what we talked about before. The $3,958,208 is the same. I believe the transfers are the same on that. I did give us a little bit more authority in federal funds, because there was something I kind of found when I was going back through it after we talked last month that I didn't think we accounted for on it. So that's why that is, or that way. LOB is pretty much the same, other than the CTE transfer wasn't quite as high as what I have. But that doesn't mean that we can't transfer more into it if we need it at the end of the year. It was just more that we were putting so much into there, I couldn't spend it in CTE, so I moved it out of there, type of thing, in case it's needed.
CTE.
Career technical education. And then at risk, I think that one was the same for the most part. Bilingual is the same. Capital outlay we kind of talked about in the other one. I did give us some more authority. It seems like when I was doing it, I missed the depreciation at 1.5 million, so I wanted to make sure we had that in there when I first did it. Driver training, that was pretty much the same as what we discussed before. Food service, I believe that one was the same. Professional development was the same. SPED, I think I gave us a little bit more authority just to keep our balance from being too high. And then CTE is where I really changed it around. The expenditures were the same. If I remember, I messed around with the revenues to push that money somewhere else to start off. Capers didn't change. Textbooks, we don't have to budget for revenues and expenditures in there. So that's why those don't show anything. And then we've put all that on the website and things like that. So, are there any questions or anything?
Good?
Good.
Matt? Everybody's good?
So we have to allow public comment.
Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, any questions, statements? Jamie, good? Any motion to accept this?
No, we'll do that in a regular meeting.
Okay.
Adjourn. Mr. President, make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn,
I'll second.
second, all those in favor? All opposed?